All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Hakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations unto the Akyam and to the elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of this earth, pushing His truth and faith and sincerity. I'm Brother Shema Allah from the GMS Houston camp. In this lesson, I'm going to be going into how that, John the Baptist, was Elijah. Basically like a reincarnation lesson, all right? And this is a very basic lesson, but you still have those out there that do not understand and that are just probably waking up and just starting to listen to videos. So you can never, ever stray away, from the basics or, feel like that you're too good to, go into the basics, right? We always got to go back to the basics because it's always, like I said, newcomers, right? People that don't understand as much as we do or on the level that we understand, okay? And so, and for me personally, I just like to always keep things basic, because it helps keep things simple. And, once you try to complicate things too much or try to get too deep or a lot of problems arise from that, That's not for everybody, but, some people, they take it, they take it to the moon, all right? But yeah, this is just a reincarnation lesson, and I'm just going to get a few scriptures, going into that point of how, John the Baptist was Elijah and the prophecies, speaking, on him. And the reason why I'm doing this lesson as well, too, is because of watching the apostles, bring it up on their street speaking, okay? And the Lord just put it in my spirit just to do a lesson on it, so I'm going to start here in Malachi 4 and 5. It says, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh." So the Lord said He was going to send, Elijah the prophet, right, before the end. But when you read here, right, during this time period, Elijah has been died, right? He's been dead, right? And this is many years after that. But He's bringing him up again, saying that He's going to send him, right, basically before the end, okay? And when did this happen? All right? And it happened twice, all right? But, I'll get into that, right? It says, "And He shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to the fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse." Now, I said it happened twice, right? It happened during the time of Yahweh Shai, right? The first time. Because you had John the Baptist who was preaching, before Yahweh Shai. Right, before Yahweh Shai came on the scene. That was him, all right? And you also had, the other Abba Bivens, all right? It came during these times before the truth, spread so rapidly. So it says, "And He shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers." Now, when Abba Bivens came on the scene, right, and Elijah, right, and that carnation, this is what he did. When he came and he taught, the elders, right, and the teachers of our apostles, right? He gave them the truth, right? You had you had King Masha, right? High priest, Yaquab, high priest, Ariah, right? And and it went on from there, and it spread into what you see today, right? But He said, "Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse," right? Before the destruction, right? This is what was going to happen. The Lord was going to raise up this man, Elijah, right? Give him this truth. And it was going to begin with him, and he was going to spread it. All right? Basically preparing the way for the Lord, as John the Baptist did. So, let's get Matthew 11. And I'll start at 11. It says, "Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there had not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. So he's bigging up John the Baptist. All right, saying there's nobody greater than him. All right, because when you want to go into the history of it's him, of Elijah alone, the great things that he did, right? And of course, the Lord was with him. All right, but that's the greatest prophet. Okay, that's why when you had the transfiguration, Matthew the 17th chapter, where you had Moses, right, which represents the law, then you had Elijah, which represents the prophets. But it says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. Speaking about the Israelites being in the captivity under the Romans, right, being tributaries and, serving them and, dealing with all of that, right? It says, for all the prophets and the law prophesied until John, and if you will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. Now, let's look at it in NLT, because you might be like, who the hell is Elias? And it's the NLT. And if you are willing to accept what I say, he is Elijah, the prophet said would come. So he was just speaking of John. But he said, if you can receive it, if you can understand this, this is Elijah, who the prophet said it would come. Who was that prophet? Malachi. The Lord gave him the spirit to bring that out. Okay? And he's telling him this was Elijah. Now, let's get Matthew 17 and 10. And the disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elias must come first? So we understand what Elias means, right? It's basically the Greek way of saying Elijah. So it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias has come already, right? So he said he truly shall first come and restore all things. So because he's speaking of, during that time, right? And in these times that happened, right, with him. He's saying, yeah, he's going to come, but he came already. All right? But he was going to come again, right? Speaking of in the time of Yahushua, right? During the time of the future as well. All right? He said, but I say unto you that Elijah has come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. It said, then the disciples understood that he spake of them of John the Baptist. So they understood, oh, he talking about John. John is Elijah. And they understood this. They wasn't bugged out about it. They wouldn't question, well, how could this be? And this and that, right? Or you preaching some hedonistic doctrine? Or no, reincarnation was known. Okay? If we go to Matthew, real quick, I can just get that since I'm right here. And let me see. Prior chapter, Matthew 16 and 13. It says, when Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist. Now, how could this be? How could he be John the Baptist? All right. It says, some say Elijah, and others say Jeremiah or one of the prophets. Now, how could this be? How could he be any one of these prophets? How could he be Jeremiah? Please explain what this means if reincarnation is not biblical, if reincarnation is not real. How could this be possible? Okay? So people were speculating on who Yahushua was. They was like, nah, he has to be him coming back. Or he has to be this prophet coming back. So this was reincarnation was a known thing and believed. All right? It's not like today. But getting back to the point, right? This is when the Pharisees, right? Or the Jews and the Levites, it says sent priests and Levites, right? This is when they approach John, all right? This is John 1:19. And this is the record of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, who art thou? And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not the anointed or the Messiah, right? And he was telling the truth, right? Speaking facts. And they asked him, what then? Art thou Elias, right? Are you Elijah? And he said, I am not. Art thou that prophet? He answered, no. Now, why would he make a statement, right, like this? So if Yahushua said that this man was Elijah, and the disciples understood it and said that, what Yahushua was saying, right, and agreeing that this was Elijah, why would he say that he is not Elijah? Easy. Ecclesiastes 1:11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So when we are brought back in this life, right, the same spirit but in a new body, we don't come back with the memories of our past lives, with the memories of who our families were, who our names was, the things that we were into. Only the Most High knows that. We are stripped clean, right? Certain things that, that we did, as far as like the things that we liked and what our spirits clung onto, and, certain characteristics, right? We keep those things because that's a part of our spirit. But as far as the memories, no, we don't keep that. So when they asked him, Are you Elijah? Of course he's gonna say no. He's not. He don't remember that. That wasn't revealed unto him. But what did he say? He said that then said they unto him, Who art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What sayest thou of thyself? He said, I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Isaiah, right? And he's quoting Isaiah 40, should be 41 or 3. 40 and 3, it says, the voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahweh, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. And this is what happened. All right, this is the prophecy that John the Baptist fulfilled. Right, he said that he is this person, not knowing that, hey, this links up with him being Elijah. Okay, because what he said, he was going to send Elijah the prophet, right, before the coming of the Lord, right, for that dreadful day. He shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, the children to the fathers. By what? Through this truth. Right? And what was he doing by doing that? Preparing the way of the Lord. Just like John the Baptist did for Yahushua. When he was out there baptizing, right? He was telling them of the one that was going to come after him. Right? One that is better than him. He was preparing the way. All right? It says, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. All right? Now, what's in the desert? What's in the wilderness? Right? Nothing. There's no water. There's no food. That's why the Lord had to take care of us coming out of Egypt. He had to provide for us. Okay? But symbolically, talking about this truth, right? Because water, is symbolic for this word. Right? And his word is symbolic for bread as well. So it can be likened unto food and water. All right? And before this truth sprung up, right, this was a wilderness. Right? There was no truth. Right? There was no water. Right? There was no bread. Right? What's this bread represents Yahushua. All right? But, like I said, the Lord, sprung up the elder Abba Bivens, which was Elijah the prophet, which was prophesied to come. And then he begins to prepare that way because the Lord is about to return. Okay? So, hey, that's just a quick lesson, I wanted to get into real quick. I hope all was, edifying. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.